right, welcome to another reaction video. Today we're gonna do why no aquarium has a great white shark. I love this. I think it's so fascinating, and I remember we were talking about this. Oh right, because we went to the aquarium and you were like, oh yeah, those were great whites in the aquarium. I was like, no,
couldn't have been.
It couldn't have been. You're like, yeah, I'm sure, and I was like, no, it can't be. So I pulled this out to win an argument. So no,
and you were
I
correct.
was right.
Yep.
Not for once.
Not for once.
No, yeah,
You're
we're
right
pretty
a lot.
even.
You're right.
Okay, let's do it.
There are some shark species that seem to do okay in aquariums. You'll see a lot of nurse sharks, zebra sharks, some reef sharks, and sand tiger sharks, but not the great white. For decades, aquariums have tried to contain the world's largest predatory fish. Institutions like Marineland, SeaWorld, and the Steinert Aquarium repeatedly took in white sharks during the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, at times drawing huge crowds. But they never lasted long. Some needed help swimming, none of them would eat. The longest one lasted was just 16 days. A 1984 report by the Steinert Aquarium put it this way.
In most cases, it could be said that all of these captive sharks were merely in the process of dying, with some taking longer than others.
That's just horrifying to like consider.
To know that the minute that you bring that like dominant predator out of its natural environment, it's dying from the minute that you put it into that environment.
Yeah, that's just
why. And what purpose would we ever have for doing it then?
I mean, I think it's money. It's to pull in the crowds to be able to see.
I mean, we do it for scientific purposes, but normally we can just tag them.
Exactly.
But you can't monitor something and observe it, tagging it the way that you can, like visually having it.
Right, but you're also, aquarium. Like, if you put it in an aquarium, you're not actually being able to observe natural mannerisms.
Well, there's ethics involved in it, too. I mean, would you want to be put in a cage?
I mean, no.
No. Even
not that
for...
kinky. Sorry. You just put that out there for me and I had to take it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
No, I have no problem with it.
But continue with your thought.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, none of us want to be caged. None of us want to be imprisoned or owned.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that's argued quite often and debated is the idea of consciousness. I mean, what can be said of? I mean, typically fish are not considered to have the neurons that primates and mammals have. So they're not typically considered to have the same type of neurofeedback. Got it. Right.
Their neurological system isn't.
It's more stimulus respond.
Right.
Stimulus respond.
Yeah.
More like reptilian brain, the amygdala.
Yep. Yeah.
And therefore, most people don't really associate fish with having emotions. But I mean...
Right.
Why would a shark not be able to survive in a place where other fish thrive and survive all the time?
Well, I think we're about to find out.
Yeah. Okay.
I constructed an elaborate transport tank with a harness and IV fluids, but still couldn't keep the sharks alive. It wasn't until 2004 that the Monterey Bay Aquarium proved that it was possible to keep white sharks for at least 6 months. It took a massive effort, and no one's done it since.
I love the Monterey Bay Aquarium. It's so good.
Our approach was one of sort of a systematic, logical sequence of things leading up to our success, and it started with designing the tank.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium had a 1 million-gallon egg-shaped tank, 35 feet deep, designed for open ocean animals like tuna and sharks. So you need a big tank. You also need a small shark. Adult great whites reach 15 feet on average. The Monterey Bay Aquarium nabbed one in 2004 that was 4 feet 4 inches, less than a year old. That made it easier to move and easier to keep.
When they're young, they feed on fish, and as they get older, they transition to feeding more on mammals. And so we were targeting the age bracket where we were more able to feed their natural diet.
And once they collected the shark, they didn't take it straight to the aquarium. Instead, the Monterey Bay team set up a 4 million gallon pen right there in the ocean. That way they can monitor the shark and see if it would feed before they moved it into a transport tank to travel from Southern California, where the sharks were born, up to the aquarium.
And they have to stay
Sharks,
constantly
like
swimming,
all
right?
fish, need to
Yeah.
have water continually passing through their gills in order to get oxygen.
Yeah.
Most species can open and close their mouths to pump water through, but white sharks and a couple dozen other species don't do that. To breathe, they have to move forward through the water with their mouths open. That's why white sharks start to weaken as soon as they're caught in a net. And that's why they needed a custom-built transport tank for mobile life support.
Everything from oxygen and
Imagine driving that truck. Like whenever there's some like big massive transport operation.
What do you do for a living?
Right? Oh, I just transport
I
sharks.
transport giant fish.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few people who knows how to make sure that the vehicle is able to transport giant fish.
Right. Like, oh man.
What do you do whenever you're in the down season?
And lighting and filtration systems that were needed for what turned out to roughly be 9 to 11 hour transport time.
Aquarium attendance jumped 30% while the shark was on display.
Yeah.
After 6.5 months, they decided to release it because it had killed 2 other sharks. Over the next 6 years, the aquarium displayed 5 more baby white sharks. Some they paid fishermen to hand over, some they caught themselves. Their stays ranged from just 11 days up to 5 months. The Monterey Bay Aquarium had succeeded in doing what no one else could, but it did take a toll on the sharks. They developed visible sores from bumping into the sides of the tank.
We actually snuck in with photographers and took pictures, of the sharks as they were beginning to trip and fail due to constant scraping against the wall. Basically, as we viewed it, it was a vase of flowers.
That's the thing too, is aquariums do a lot of good work, but
Historically,
they sometimes
aquariums kept
can do
sharks that
bad.
lived near the seabed or near reefs. That makes sense. It's easier to recreate those habitats in a tank. But in recent decades, aquariums have wanted to bring in bigger, more pelagic sharks, those that spend time roaming the open ocean. They've even been able to exhibit the largest shark in the world, the whale shark, if they have a big enough tank. But pelagic sharks are used to being able to swim long distances without obstructions, changing directions only as they please. So the faster moving sharks like the white shark, mako shark, and blue
Could you
shark,
imagine living in a
they have
3D
trouble-
world like that?
What do you mean?
Well, like, we don't have the power of flight, but really, animals in the ocean, their world, to them, they do have flight. Like, they're able to move.
Oh, you mean they can go like up and down?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
Forward, backward, and up and down.
what this is pointing out is that sharks tend to stay within a specific band of the ocean.
And they move constantly forward.
Yeah, within
Yeah.
that. So like it's not like they're crossing from like reef to like deep ocean.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I don't know that that's necessarily 3D. I mean, I guess
To them, their world is mostly the fabric that they live in is mostly 3D. Yeah. They can move.
yeah. I mean,
Virtually in every direction that they want to move.
Right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. So.
with walls when they're put in a tank. That's what was happening with the Monterey Bay Aquarium's 6th white shark in 2011. They decided to release it after 55 days, and its tracking tag revealed that the shark died shortly after being released. They're not sure why. But since then, they haven't tried to bring in another great white shark.
It's a very, very, very resource-intensive program, and we felt like we had accomplished our goal of introducing the general public to a live white shark.
It took a huge, carefully planned system to keep a white shark alive, and even then, the sharks didn't quite fit there. They can't seem to stop trying though. Earlier this year, an 11.5-foot great white shark was taken to an aquarium in Okinawa, Japan, after getting caught in a fisherman's net. It was the only adult white shark ever to be put on display, and within 3 days, it was dead.
Jeez.
It's very fast, yeah?
Yeah.
I wanted to show you a great resource online called the Biodiversity Heritage.
It's really sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that ended on a sad note. Sorry. But interesting.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I've heard the same thing about, killer whales.
Oh, yeah.
Orcas
I mean,
don't do well in captivity.
yeah, I mean, the whole documentary, Blackfish, is...
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Well, I think I more knew the social commentary afterward that
Got
SeaWorld lost all...
A ton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, like, social support was gone after
yeah.
that.
I
for
like,
SeaWorld.
bawled my eyes out watching that documentary.
I've never seen it. I'm sure it's awful, though.
Yeah.
I saw Free Willy, and that movie...
I never saw it.
I know. I have it queued up in Disney Plus for us to watch, but here's the thing.
What?
I'm gonna cry, and that's why I don't want to watch it. Is because
You can cry.
and I'm gonna cry for two reasons. It's because the movie is deep. It's heartfelt. It's about a boy helping, a killer whale go back into the ocean and escape to freedom. But also it's a movie where Michael Jackson had the main score. Like his song was the theme.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, so it's twofold, crying because also, I miss Michael Jackson. He's good,
Performer.
yeah, good artist.
Yeah.
Hold me like a river, Jordan, and I will then say to you, you're my friend.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're ending a reaction to great whites in aquariums with
Michael Jackson on
Michael
Free
Jackson
Willy.
on
The
Free
theme,
Willy.
the theme
There
song
we
of Free
go.
Willy.
So, of course.
Which is an orca, which is a killer whale, and
That is
it's a mammal, so it's not even a fish, not even a shark, so not related at all.
Aren't sure.
Sharks are fish,
Yeah.
orcas are mammals.
Yeah. Cold-blooded. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm on the same page. We're here.
There we go.
We're ready.
Here we are.
Anyway, if you liked that, give it a like, give us a subscribe, comment below with the next video you want us to react to, and we'll see you next time.